I got a good question about my last video and how that was set up. So I was going to do some more explanation. So this is a longer, boring video. I've got a candle flame. It turns out that this Schlieren technique is not very successful in getting small changes in temperature. So you saw I had the torch before. Here's just a simple tea light. Let me spin the camera and show you what the tea light looks like. Where is it? There it is. So just a tiny little flame burning there. And when I look at that here on the screen, you can see if we let the air in the room get still, we get that heat going straight up and down. And about, what is that, maybe a foot above the candle flame, 2 feet above the candle flame, the motion of the air starts to get turbulent. If I blow, you can see that air from the flame just moves around and goes. So it's just sort of following the airflow in the room. All right, so let me show you how we get this adjusted kind of to this point. So with an interesting source there in the way, I'm going to zoom in and out, and you can see what effect this has on the camera. So if I zoom out, still visible, starting to get, you can see this strobing effect on the background. Still some visible on the screen. I don't know how much of that is picking up on the video. I'm still seeing on the screen kind of a band here that looks a little bit different focus. I'm getting a lot of stuff moving around. I'm going to zoom out to the maximum here. So this is the maximum now I can do in this classroom, and not really seeing anything. And it looks like that background is just gray. So that probably indicates that white and black pixels are picked up by more than one pixel on the camera. That is, white and black squares on my piece of cloth back there are picked up by more than one pixel on the camera. So if we zoom in, I'm starting to see a little bit about there. I don't know if you see that. Certainly the strobing on the background indicating that I'm kind of just between pixels. So possibly some little motion of the camera shaking, or just picking up alternate pieces of that. If I zoom in, I see a little more. Now I'm starting to actually see some motion in the air. You can see right up in the camera. I can actually see it up on the top here on the TV screen, but it's a little more subtle and might be hard to pick up with the other camera here. And if I zoom in just right, get about, that's past where I was before. And now you see maybe pixels have moved off a whole space. So I get this different pattern there where the heat is. So just kind of refocusing everything. But if I get it to this point just in the middle, then you can see all sorts of little structure of the heat moving off that flame. Now the flame, remember, is only maybe a 1/4 inch tall, maybe even 1/2 centimeter. This is a pretty small tea light. And I'm going to go walk past it because that tends to move a lot of air around. And I'll do that and I'll trip over my cord, so I have to readjust where my camera is sitting. Not that one. There you see I'm getting good contrasts. And actually, if I tip the camera up, let's go way up because I got more screen up there. You see some of those turbulent flow regions. Sorry, I know this is more of a boring video, but I just wanted to play around with the technique and show you how all of this works. Let's try an interesting experiment. Let's tip the camera. And you can see these lines kind of go with it. Now the pattern of the grid and the pattern on my camera are at odds, but I'm still seeing this. So let's try to zoom with that. There's a point right in there. Where it just pops and you get some nice bands. So that's an interesting experiment. If I take that back to level, that chalkboard in the background should be very level, so I should be able to adjust to that. All right, so that's cheap Schlieren Photography. Let me run the zoom back in and out on that so you can see the effect sort of start to appear there, disappear there. You can see my whole screen geometry. You're between, so on a color camera, you've got pixels that are picking up different colors and they're in a particular arrangement. So you can see there's sort of a color swipe that goes through there as I pass the resolution limit of the colors. But I think there I might actually have to be on all three colors to see this nice contrast. If I zoom too far, then of course you're resolving individual pixels. All right, I promised this would be a boring video. Right there, you saw I played actually a little bit with the focus of the camera, so let's do that again. So if that background is out of here, we're nearly in focus, that may be a little better focus because I'm getting more white. So that's an interesting effect. And that blew out my candle. Interesting. All right, well, let's call that good. We'll post this nice long video for you. Good for you if you stick with it and watch the whole thing. Are we still seeing? I'm going to move that up. No, we're not seeing heat from that. There are a couple of lines down here in the video you can see. So I've got this hanging from my chalkboard, or whiteboard actually, and you can see through the material a little bit. We've got a dark blue background in the class here. So it changes here, and there's a little bit of a stress here. So you're seeing down here some of the stress pattern on the sheet. You can see I've got it pinned with a whole bunch of little magnets around the perimeter, and that gives us a pattern that you can see. All right, this is a longer video. Thanks for sticking with it. Happy, oh no, happy physicsing. That's Physics Girl. Don't try this at home. Oh, except, yeah, do try this at home. Or even come over to my house. Thanks.